Anyway, we're going to go straight to Greg Neal in the control room. And Jonathan, can you get Greg in?
Hi, Maury, and thank you for this opportunity to talk with awesome viewers on Ted Cruz's 2018 Senate campaign. I have lots of important news, events, and rally information for viewers to learn more about Senator Ted Cruz. This is my opportunity to present to you a true across-the-board constitutional candidate for Texas Senate in 2018. Now on to the Cruz news. Ted Cruz speaks out in opposition of the Smithsonian Margaret Sanger's bust and seeks it be removed from the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery. The Sanger bust on display in its Struggle for Justice exhibit since 2010. Margaret Sanger's views on race and eugenics have been at the heart of this opposition to the appearance of Margaret Sanger representing a face of justice in America. Ted Cruz and Texas Rep. Gohmert joined with ministers to take a stand for a press conference outside the gallery. They've circulated a petition that gained 11,000 signatures for Sanger's removal. When the museum declined to remove Sanger's bust, Stan President E.W. Jackson called the response unserious and disrespectful. Sanger was no American hero. Her motive was not to help poor women, but to stop them from having children that she didn't believe were fit to live, Jackson said. Would God approve of this fighting between conservatives and liberals for life's most important decision? No. God gives us directions in decisions like this. In Proverbs 31:8-9, we are to assemble together and defend the rights of those doomed. We are to speak up and judge fairly, and we can do that by following Senator Ted Cruz's example and help Ted every step of the way. The hardest thing to do is to admit we are wrong. God didn't give us the Bible to mock us when we are wrong. The Scripture was given to us to lead us and guide us when we are wrong. The Holy Scriptures represent principles that better our lives. The time to apply those principles are now in our lives. Jesus carried the cross on his shoulders so you could start over. So go to tedcruz.org and speak up for the poor and helpless and see that they get justice and have our voice to defend and protect them in America. Senator Ted Cruz ramps up opposition to internet transition. The Obama administration is pushing through a radical proposal to take control of internet domains and instead give it to an international organization, ICANN. That includes 162 foreign countries. If that proposal goes through, countries like Russia, China, and Iran could be able to censor speech on the internet, including here in the U.S. by blocking access to sites they don't like. Go to www.cruz.senate.gov for more information on how you can get involved to protect the First Amendment rights of Americans. The rules of free speech were defined in our Constitution. Ted Cruz's record proves he will defend Texans' First Amendment rights wholeheartedly, as he did with the Free All Speech Act. The Free All Speech Act of 2014 requires any law that restricts political speech on American citizens to apply with equal force to media corporations, such as New York Times, ABC, NBC, and CBS television network. Why is Senator Ted Cruz speaking out? Because it prohibits such a law from having any force or effect with respect to American citizens. John Stuart Mill had it right. If you disagree with political speech, the best cure is more speech, not less. The First Amendment has served America well for 227 years. When Democrats tried similar in 1997, Senator Ted Kennedy was right to say, in the entire history of the Constitution, we have never amended the Bill of Rights, and now is no time to start. If you feel the best cure is more speech, not less, go to www.cruz.senate.gov for more information on how you can get involved to protect the First Amendment rights of Americans.
The Internet. America invented it, and it has proven to be an amazing oasis of freedom. Free speech. Each of us able to speak our views online. And free enterprise. Millions of new businesses able to be opened online without any government pre-approval. But all of that could change. Right now, the Obama administration is trying to push through a radical proposal to give away control of the Internet to foreign countries. From the very first days of the Internet, the American government has maintained domain names and ensured equal access to everyone with no censorship whatsoever. Obama wants to give that power away to an international body called ICANN, which would empower countries like Russia and China and Iran. This Internet giveaway poses a great threat to our country's freedom and our national security. Russia and China and Iran don't have a First Amendment. They don't protect free speech, and they actively censor the Internet. ICANN could do the same thing, putting foreign countries in charge of what you can say online, prohibiting speech that they disagree with. Foreign governments are already planning to take ICANN and move it overseas so that it not only escapes U.S. law, but in effect turns into a mini United Nations. Unfortunately, Congress hasn't been willing to affirmatively act to prevent this giveaway before the transfer date on September 30th, 2016. That's why I've introduced the Protecting Internet Freedom Act to immediately stop this transfer and protect American sovereignty. Time is running out, and it's going to take the power of the American people and Congress to save the Internet. We must keep the Internet free. Free of taxes, free of regulation, and free of censorship. America built the Internet, and we shouldn't be giving it away to our enemies.
More trouble with the Iran and Obama's money exchange. Senator Ted Cruz and Mike Lee raised concerns over the legality of Obama's administration's $400 million ransom payment to Iran. Ted Cruz and Mike Lee of Utah sent a letter to Secretary of State John Kerry, Secretary of Treasury Jacob Lew, and Attorney General Loretta Lynch, raising serious questions regarding the legality of administration's $400 million payment to Iran in January, in exchange for 4 Americans wrongly imprisoned by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Iran is designated by the State Department as a state sponsor of terrorism. Cruz and Lee call on the administration to provide a full accounting of its conduct and answer simple questions to determine whether the transaction was legal and what steps be taken to prevent the U.S. dollars from supporting terrorism, especially in light of reports that Iran has already arrested additional Americans. The purpose of this letter is to inquire about the legality of the payment, the senators wrote. It is imperative that the administration provide a full accounting of its conduct with respect to the $400 million cash payment to Iran. And in the Ted Cruz event news, Ted Cruz will be in Kingwood, Texas, Friday, September 16th. The Kingwood Tea Party is having their 2016 Constitution Day celebration and freedom rally at the Nathaniel Center, 804 Russell Palmer Road, Kingwood, Texas, 77339. The event starts at 5 p.m. and ends at 9 p.m. There is no charge to attend for this event for citizens, official, or candidates. Mark your calendars, September 16th, Kingwood, Texas, at the Nathaniel Center, 804 Russell Palmer Road, Kingwood, Texas, 77339. Our second event to see Senator Ted Cruz speak is the Grassroots America's 2016 Champions of Freedom Annual Dinner, Friday, September 23rd, at the Constellation Ballroom, Holiday Inn, Tyler, South Broadway, 5701 South Broadway, Tyler, Texas, 75703. The dinner sponsor reception is at 5 p.m. and the dinner program is at 6 p.m. Special guest and keynote speaker, the undisputed national leader of the conservative movement, Ted Cruz. General admission applies. The more we stand together as citizens, the better we elect great leadership to represent us in Washington, D.C. And who better than Ted Cruz to represent all Texans and this nation? So mark your calendars for September 23rd, Tyler, Texas. Back to you, Mari.
Okay. So